Ladies and gentlemen, this is Renegade TV, where all news is of the wasteland. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your host, he is Pete Wall, the angry Viking of the wasteland. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? And oh, have mercy! What a wild ride we had. Wow, it started on Sunday and it ended on Monday night, and wow, just unbelievable action here in RWO. And if you are wondering what RWO stands for, well, let's just say it's all about the wasteland. Ladies and gentlemen, Renegade Wrestling Organization just went through hell with Soul Sacrifice. And I've got to tell you, there was a whole lot of competitors out there that gave every inch of their soul. They sacrificed right to the very end. And we've got a lot of news coming out from Soul Sacrifice. And I do want to apologize for the glare in my glasses, but well, the wasteland has not been kind on the Vikings' eyes. So, you're going to have to make do, folks. Well, let me get into a wonderful weekend. What a weekend it was indeed. We started off, like I stated, on Sunday evening. And I've got to tell you, some of these matches just blew my mind. We had title changes. We've had injury reports. And we'll get into the injuries in a little bit. But we started off the show on Sunday night with the No Limit Championship title on the line. Our champion, Johnny Cho, the son of Cowboy John, the very first title holder of the No Limit title. A fighting champion in his own right, but a fan favorite coming up the ranks. And I've got to tell you, man, Max Radness, the following that he already has had to have grown by leaps and bounds. This man was trained by none other than the paragon of greatness. And I've got to say, that training paid off. He might not have gotten it done the first time. He might not have gotten it done the second time. But on Sunday night at Soul Sacrifice, he had to give an inch of his soul. And it paid off. In a ladder match, above the ring, hanging in a briefcase, was locked the No Limit title. It was a very competitive match. I've got to say, Johnny Cho was every bit the fighting champion he has been to this point. The the regulator of the wasteland, put up a top-notch fight, but in the end, he succumbed to the radness. Yes. Oh, and I'm feeling all kinds of rad after watching that match. Max Radness climbed that ladder rung for rung, made his way up to the top, finally grabbed a hold of that briefcase, tore it down, and tore the roof off of the Barons Arena, folks. Yes, our new No Limit champion won. Max Radness. I've got to say, outstanding match between these two. A great way to kick off this big show that we threw for you on Sunday and Monday, known as Soul Sacrifice, folks. It was astounding. I loved it. Both men were intense. Both men taking a lot of risks. And in the end, Max Radness finally captured what he's been longing for. And thus proving himself worthy in the eyes of the paragon of greatness. You know, for a show that was long in coming, that so much energy went into working it, as well as calling the matches and booking it, I've got to say, Soul Sacrifice, was a show I've been wanting to build for a while. And kicking off the show with the No Limit title, I wasn't sure if it was too soon for that type of match, but it worked. It put the energy where it needed to be, and that was right from the top of the show, and that energy flowed right through the entire 2 days. It took a lot out of me. By the time this show was completed, I was totally wrecked. I was dripping in sweat. My throat felt like it was going to rupture. And believe me, I've been close to the point where I've fractured my vocal cords. And last night felt like I was almost there. And there were times where I felt, okay, I need to pull back a little bit, but I couldn't do it. And when I had that match with Mean Joey Green, I didn't bother calling the match. I wanted it to be organic. I wanted it to take place, and I wanted to give my throat a chance to rest because, damn, that opening card match on Monday night, holy shit, just unbelievable. But we're not there yet. We're going to discuss that a little bit later. So we followed this ladder match for the No Limit title with a fatal 4-way Scourge of the Wasteland title. Now, Angelica Malice was your current champion going into this match. And she had 3 other women that she had to battle against, and 3 women that already have been battle tested and battle hardened. Now, Angelica Malice, the daughter of one known as Shino Malice, a very dark and sinister man. You don't want to cross paths with this motherfucker when you're walking through the wasteland. But we didn't have to deal with him. No, these 3 women had to deal with his sadistic daughter. Believe me, this girl loves torturing people. She loves climbing into your brain pan and working her way around, worming around in there and getting into your psyche and basically causing you to bust your load. Now, when I say bust your load, you could take that a very dirty way, but I'm talking about taking you out of the game, and she did that well last night. She went on, not only before this event, to battle the likes of Yolanda Bendamiova, but she also won that title from one Andromeda. Yes, the future, the woman being groomed to be the very next Amazon here in the wasteland. Took the title from her, defeated Yolanda in her first title defense, and last night, she didn't just eliminate one woman. She eliminated all 3 opponents, and it was beautiful and terrifying. So let me run down this match for you. Angelica Malice would defend her title against Carmella Springheel, the vampiress, the daughter of one Ripper Springheel. She hails from the Barrens, and believe me, this chick is evil as she is beautiful. And then Cattleya Orchid. Oh, have mercy. Ooh. Devious and sadistic and straight up in your face. And this chick took the fight to all the women in this match. And then you've got the fun-loving, kind of misplaced Lily Rage. And I say misplaced because she don't fit the mold of the Rage bloodline. She's fun-loving, she's carefree, she's exuberant. She is all about fun, when the rest of the Rage family lineage is all about disrespect, straight up in your face, thuggish. This chick, she has shown potential. And she had her shot last night, but Angelica Malice, like I said, disposed of each woman in turn by herself. Yes, Angelica Malice would retain the Scourge of the Wasteland title, and she will move on to defend that title at any given moment. What a great match, full intensity. Oh, I loved calling it. It was all over the place. It was hard to focus on one individual superstar, but in the end, when it came down to the final 2, it was clear what was going to happen. Angelica Malice walking all the way home, very proud and a very tough champion. Congratulations both to the champions that have defended thus far. But up next, a match that I was looking forward to. And I was a little bit concerned. You see, I travel the wasteland a lot looking for new talent to bring to the RWO arenas. And it's not always easy to find. And I came across this small community that I have never seen in the wasteland before, and I've already forgotten their names. But they were having an execution that day. Yes, they are a very medieval-like community. They run things the way that they would have done within the medieval times. And lo and behold, in the center of the courtyard, there is this towering man. He had this big, heavy cloak over his face to hide his identity. And I took one look and I seen a monster. A monster that wouldn't just crush, but destroy competition here in RWO. And I had to meet him. Now, I had to witness a very visceral, very emotional moment when his axe dropped and took the head, cleaved the head off clean from this poor man that was deemed, worthy of execution. I don't know his crimes, but this man, he fulfilled his job to the utmost of his ability. Now, you might think it's easy cleaving a head from the shoulders of another man, but I got to tell you, it's not easy on the soul. And this man carried out his duty like a professional. So, I met with him. I convinced him to leave his homeland. I brought him here to RWO to travel with this, this insanity. This insanity that we call RWO. And believe me, it is insane some days to see what goes down with the minds of some of these wrestlers, these performers. And he took one look at my roster. He walked the hallways and he chose his victim. And he said he chose it well. But he wanted to send this man a warning. And I speak right now of Cages, a man from the Oblivion crew. He chose this man not for just who he was, but his size. He said if he were to battle anyone, it had to be a monster that stood toe to toe and head and shoulders above the rest. Well, Cages fit that bill, but he needed to send him a warning first, so I gave him a debut match. And he chose a handicap match, destroying both men single-handedly. Now, not without a couple of bumps and bruises, but this is the wrestling world, and things aren't always going to go as you plan. It will not be a complete decimation, but this man came back and decimated, sending his warning to Cages. And what a match it turned out to be. Cages tried fighting back, tried doing everything possible, but Leviathan had everything working in his direction. Yes, he took out Cages from Oblivion, and I can't wait to see what this man brings to RWO. His first official big match, and he conquered his enemy. Unbelievable. Well, we follow that up with our very first Dogs of War Championship match. Now, there is a lot of history in this match, and I'm not saying anything about working together, being together, feuding together. No, the history runs through the veins. Yes, the veins of all four men. It runs through the veins and into the core, straight in their heart. You see, the bloodline of not just one of these men, but three of these men ties them, links them. They are brothers not just in war, but they are brothers in blood. Aiden Nightwalker, the son of Mordrin Nightwalker. Connor Harris, the son of Wrestling Mama, the legendary Amazon of RWO. Those two parents are linked as blood. Yes, they are brother and sister. And then there's Mark Mayhem, the man that has been rumored to be Wrestling Mama and Scuzz's love child. And then you have the final man, Paul Utaker. Talk about blood right there. The legendary Mr. and Mrs. Utaker, legends across the Indies, legends across the wasteland. Sired not one, but two children. Yes, brothers and sisters. Paul Utaker, a powerhouse of a man, stands the same height as his father. Now he might be young, might have a ways to learn yet. But the descendants of darkness, both men hailing from New Naples and connected through oblivion. Paul Utaker and Aiden Nightwalker, the descendants of darkness versus the team known as Violence, Connor Harris and Mark Mayhem. What a brutal first meeting of these two teams. Now the Dogs of War title, it is what you could consider the Intercontinental title in the tag team division. We'll move on to the Alpha and Omega titles later on. Those are your heavyweight tag titles. Now, going into this match, it looked like it was a clear-cut victory for the Descendants of Darkness, Paul Utaker and Aiden Nightwalker. They came in strong. It was nothing but a brutal beatdown at the beginning of this match. The cockiness of Connor Harris working against the team of Violence at many point and turns in this match. But in the end, they turned things around. They began to work cohesively. They began to show why they are such a great tag team. And in the end, Connor Harris and Mark Mayhem, the team known as Violence, would become your official Dogs of War champions. Now, there's a lot of stirrings in the wasteland already because there are new teams coming up. And believe me, Violence is not safe. So you better learn to get awfully damn violent or really damn quick because, well, this mind, it's always churning. And I've been notified of a huge tag team coming to the tag ranks. Be careful, Connor Harris and Mark Mayhem. You want to watch your backs. As for the Descendants of Darkness, I see big things in their future. Now, don't get me wrong, they took a big loss, but they fought tooth and nail, went step for step against Violence. So you can guarantee they are not out of the hunt. The hunt has only just begun for Darkness and Oblivion, so watch out for Paul Utaker and Aiden Nightwalker, a devastating team. The luck might not have been on their side on Sunday, but luck always has a way of turning around, folks. Now, we have a special kind of match to see if a competitor is worthy of facing the Emperor, the ruler, the Empress, or the Queen of the Wasteland. You see, you have to face the knights that guard the throne. So, we had a Knights Challenge, the second Knights Challenge for the man known as Demon, a brash, in-your-face, talk about a thug. This man doesn't just run his mouth, he will cram his fist down your throat just to prove the point. But he had his second night challenge on Sunday night. He lost against Paul Utaker the very first night of Oblivion, safeguarding Ragnar Warson's throne. Now, Demon considered it, a little bit of unfair advantage as Paul Utaker called upon his dark arts. The lights in the arena went completely out. And Demon was on the verge of winning this match, his first match. The lights come back on. Paul Utaker standing tall behind the man known as Demon. Hit him with the nail in the coffin. Lights out. This was the second and possibly the last opportunity for Demon, and this happened Sunday night. His night's challenge for the second time would fall upon Phoenix Nightwalker, the second night of Oblivion. And I've got to say, not once did Phoenix Nightwalker let up in his assault. It was perfection. It was beauty. Phoenix Nightwalker already showing he is a death-defying motherfucker here in the dunes of the wasteland. He will go to all lengths to make sure his star is shining bright. And sadly, Demon fell victim to that bright, shining star. Yes, from the ashes, always a phoenix must rise. And on Sunday night, that phoenix rose to heights untold and stopped Demon in his tracks. Now, I'm not going to tell you it was a one-sided battle, but damn, Phoenix looked great. And sadly, Demon will not face Ragnar Warsun. Moving on. Speaking of the Emperor of the Wasteland, inside a Hell in a Cell, the big man, the Emperor, was challenged in a non-title fight by one known as Drago Doom. Drago Doom, brought to the Wasteland. Well, he claims that the Wasteland existed within him before the Wasteland even came to birth. Well, this man, big, ugly. Oh, have mercy upon y'all. This man is nothing but a monster unleashed upon us all. And I feared for the Emperor's safety. His life was in the hands of this monstrosity. And it was a battle. But in the end, Ragnar Warsun, the Emperor of the Wasteland, rose above the pain, the assault, the battery, and conquered a dragon. Yes, the son, or I should correct myself, the stepchild of the man known as War and the woman known as Cassie Madam Red, rose above every odd, came out victorious, and proved why he is the Emperor of the Wasteland. What a great match it was. And Drago Doom showing everyone it just takes that one moment for you to rise above everybody and get yourself a shot at the Emperor. Moving on. And this, I've got to tell you, was by far an awesome match. The Warrior Way title. Now, this title is defended at every turn. It can happen in a minute's notice. The champion must be available and throw down and defend that title. Well, Ken Caliban's been doing just that. He won that title, defended it 2 times before this event, and then came in to face the man, the warrior, from the lands of Shigorganese, Dak Man Do, the albino rhino. Yes, this man's got one speed, and once he's got you locked in his sight, he's aiming and running you down. Trained by the man known as D-Train. This guy took Ken Caliban to the limit, hit him with the trademark D-Train maneuver known as off the rails, and damn, the fans were on their feet. They thought this man had the title won, but no, the training that has gone into forging the man known as the Seeker, Ken Caliban, rose above, conquered the albino rhino, and retained his Warrior Way title, cementing his name as one of the toughest fighters here in RWO. Ken Caliban, one of the toughest men I have ever gotten to know, and believe me, big news coming concerning his career because he had to pull double duty. Yes, he fought Sunday night as well as Monday night, and he paid the consequences, folks. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's sad, and I wish him nothing but the best, but let's not blow our loads before we get there. So, night two. Night two, we started off in a pit fight. Almar Wolf coming to the compound of the Angry Viking, setting it up and making his daughters fight it out. One daughter cast aside, deemed too weak to be within his pack. The other, a dominating force of nature, has embraced her animalistic side. The other one at odds with who she is, who she should be. And last night they clashed, and it was a match in the making. I've got to say, these women took each other to the limit. A straight up brawl, using the trees, using rusted up piece of shit cars. It didn't matter what it was, they used it to their advantage. And believe me, the assault upon each other was as vicious as a pack of wolves feeding on a baby deer. Well, Rika, the favored daughter of Almar Wolf, like I said, fought tooth and nail, but in the end succumbed to the warrior trained Rika, yes, raised by none other than the mighty Minerva from RWO's past. Now she might be a little frail looking, she looks a bit malnourished, but this girl has got fight in her like I have never seen before. She brought the animalistic to RWO in this match right here. She embraced who and what her nature is. The wolf came through and took a bite out of Rika. But coming from that match, we seen in the locker room Almar Wolf seemingly accepting this castaway, a woman he deemed, or I should say at that point in her life, a child deemed unworthy, a weak link in the pack's armor. Rika sent out to tear her throat out in the dunes, and chose to have mercy. But now it seems that the family is reunited. What does this mean for the Amazons tag team division? Two wolves like this joining forces, Almar Wolf's gotta be proud. Rika and Rika. Now, right now, I'm just going off of observation. I don't know exactly what's going on. But if it is a family reunited, unbelievable future for these two women. And we followed that up with another blood feud. This blood feud runs all the way back to the days of the ruler of the wasteland known as Blaze McCoy. The best ruler in the wasteland that we have ever had the opportunity, I'm lost for words at the moment. This man tried to save us from disaster, tried to bring us out from the sands and bring back a better way of living. It was fortunate for us all to have been under this man's rule. But some deep-seated issues with the man known as Ben Wall, the gold standard, as well as Jake Bagwell. Both of these men felt slighted, felt wronged, felt cheated by Blaze McCoy. They claim he stole the crown from them. Now their sons have picked up this battle. They have directed their hatred to one Junior McCoy, the son of the ruler of the wasteland at that time, Blaze McCoy. unbelievable battle that went down on Monday night. And I've got to tell you, when RWO and JD Bagwell started to bring this group together known as Gold Destiny, I knew for a matter of fact that trouble was on the winds and the giant sandstorm was coming. But it wasn't just sand, there was gold dust in that sand. And last night that gold dust settled upon Gold Destiny. So, let's break it down. The Horsemen of Apocalypse tag, 8-man tag titles were on the line. This blood feud finally coming to a head. Now, Junior McCoy had to go about searching for allies, and he found them. Yes, in a man known as Joshua Clark, a student of a very close friend of Blaze McCoy in, well, I can't remember his name. Mark Caliber. There we go. I do apologize, Mark Caliber. I am a halfwit. And then Randy J. Machete stepping up to also lend support to Steel City. And a big surprise, this man debuted and won the Warrior Way title in his first match. The Bastard stepped up and said, Blaze Jr., I've got your back. Well, this match would go for almost 60 minutes. This match almost killed me, trying to stay focused on every bit of action that went down. And I've got to tell you, when the first fall came, oh, wow, I was hurt inside. Now, Arkin and JD have put together a very great crew. Randall Riot, the student of one, Dave the Hammer Wall, and Ulrich Vancroft. Ulrich Vancroft, just spewing that name makes me want to fucking puke. Ulrich Vancroft, the bastard child of the angry Viking, bringing up to make it 4 men. And what a contest it was. And we've got some injury reports coming from this match as well. Junior McCoy, Joshua Clark, Randy Machete, the Bastard did everything they could to stop Gold Destiny. Now, they were able to manage an elimination by way of JD Bagwell. But I've got to tell y'all, without JD Bagwell, I don't think Gold Destiny could have pulled this victory off. This kid was hitting high-risk maneuvers throughout the match. When he could have tagged, he kept going, kept fighting, bringing the pain not only to Junior McCoy, but Joshua Clark, the Bastard, and Randy J. Machete. They, of all the McCoy allies, were completely and utterly decimated. Now, they threw a big fight back, but the Gold Destiny, they brought the fight last night like I have never seen them do before. This was a feud that has been written in stone, and it seems like it will not end. Well, in the end, the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse champions ended up going to the Gold Destiny. Yes, Arkin Wall, JD Bagwell, Randall Riot, and Ulrich Vancroft are your very first 8-man tags. And I've got to tell you, and I warn everyone out in the wasteland, gather your allies, because these men are not going to let loose of those titles anytime soon. Now, sadly, and this is our first injury report, Junior McCoy was experiencing some pain, as well as he seemed very unfocused and very, very out of sorts after the match. Well, we discovered after I had to get my medical examiners to check him out, he suffered a major concussion as well as a fracture in his orbital bone socket. And so, until they have the ability to repair that orbital bone, he is and will follow to use an eye patch over his right eye to keep that eye safe and to make sure that he is not further injured. He will be on the shelf until I am notified by my medical staff and to make sure he is cleared. I've got to say, Joshua Clark, Randy Machete, and the Bastard all ended up getting stitched up. They were lacerated. It was cut deep. Gold Destiny did not hold back in their assault. They went straight to the trenches and beat the snot out of Junior McCoy and his allies. It was a beautiful match, and like I said, almost went the 60-minute mark. Unbelievable match, and like I said, this match almost killed me. I ended up having to take a break from commentary just so I could save it for the rest of the match. And why not save it through a match I had to participate in myself? So up next, I had the honor of disrespecting and welcoming a new entity to the Wasteland and RWO. Inside a Hell in a Cell, I brought Mean Joey Green to his knees. Yes, it was Pete Wall versus Mean Joey Green for the first time. Now, there's a lot of deep-seated issues here from way, way back in the past. And finally, these two minds collided, and it was beautiful. You see, Mean Joey Green, I warned you, and I promised you. Well, I didn't take you down that long walk down the dirt road, but I castrated you. I brought you down to your knees, and I had the privilege, the honor of making you my bitch. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you all in the comments below to welcome Mean Joey Green to RWO. Yes, a kick to the balls won the match, and the Angry Viking goes on to prove he might be old, but he can still whoop some ass. What a great match it was. Very short, but it was beautiful nonetheless. Following that, we had our number one contenders match for the Scourge of the Wasteland. This was held within the Elimination Chamber. Now, those of you from RWO's past, you'll remember the men battling for the Scourge title. The men warring night and day for this title. Well, that title was retired, placed inside the RWO vault. And one night, one woman stole that title. Her name, Cougar Silver. She would go on to devastate and conquer. And then this title was lost for ages, refound, reworked, and brought back to the Amazon Nation for them to battle it out here in RWO. Well, 6 women were battling it out for the right to become the number one contender to face the current and reigning Scourge champion in Angelica Malice. I gotta tell you, this was a battle, and what impressed me the most was every woman taking it to the very edge, giving a little bit of themselves in this match to prove that they are worthy of being on this roster. Now, I'm going to run down the match of who was all involved. Now, we had Turquoise Rain, the twin sister of Amethyst Rain and your Emperor of the Empress of the Wasteland. Following that, we have Phoenix Taylor, Rebel Outlaw, Andromeda, a former Scourge champion, Cheyenne, and Jenna Rage. And I got to tell you, each one of these women went to the limit. They brought each other to the point of no return and went beyond. But in the end, Turquoise Rain the last woman released from the pod, came out and took the victory. Now, I thought for a moment Rebel Outlaw had this match, but Turquoise Rain proved that she was too fresh, took the win, made the last elimination, and now will face Angelica Malice for that Scourge of the Wasteland title. Up next, we've got the Triple Threat Alpha and Omega Tag Team Championships. The current, or going into this match, the current Alpha and Omega. Also, your ruler of the Wasteland, Fatu Garen, and his brother, the Prince of Neon City, Drake Garen. They are known as the Neon Knights. They would have to face not one team, but two. The Black Hand, consisting of the Priest of Hate, Jeff Hate, and Giroff. Brothers. Not blood, but blood don't make you family, as you know. These two were united through marriage, as Almar Wolf chose to wed his daughter, Rika, to Jeff Hate. These two consist of the Black Hand. They would also have to face the Sons of Sin and Mordecai, known as the Crucible, Caleb Cross and John Cross. What a war it was. Intensity at its finest. Limits went to the breach. They came back swinging. Now the Black Hand played it off very smart. First, they eliminated Drake Garen. That already put the odds against the Neon Knights, the Alpha and Omega champions. Then they managed to eliminate John Cross, leaving Caleb Cross and Fatu to battle both Jeff Hate and Giroff. Well, they turned around and eliminated Fatu Garen. And then it became a handicap match between Caleb Cross and the Black Hand. Oh, have mercy. Caleb tried, but got conquered. Ladies and gentlemen, your new Alpha and Omega champions, Jeff Hate and Giroff, the Black Hand. And you gotta believe the hate that they are spreading in the Wasteland will travel even further now with them with the gold. And they are the Alpha and Omega of the Wasteland. Unbelievable match. These guys put it on the line. I love everything about it. What amazed me about almost every match on the card, there was a story behind it. There was a reason for the match. These guys have all faced each other before. These guys have all fallen to the two known as the Neon Knights. And last night, they came back in a strong way. And the Black Hand proved that they are the next big thing. And this match right here I've got to discuss because I have never seen such dominance in a match before. I dubbed it The Quest Begins. Now, Ken Caliban has a lot of mystery surrounding him as it is. And he fought Sunday night like I have never seen before, retained his Warrior Weight title belt. But this wasn't a title match. And even though the title belt is insignificant to a man like Ken Caliban, he has a mission, a goal in his life. He has been wandering this wasteland seeking for his missing master. A man known as the immortal Griffith Davian. Now, rumors said that this man was held captive, prisoner, for the rest of his eternal life, deep under the city known as Steel City, ruled by one Blaze McCoy. Ken Caliban went out of his way to be trained by different men throughout his lifetime as he searched for his master. Then he came across a young man with an invitation to RWO to perform. He killed that man for that invitation. He showed up on my doorstep. And I knew when he handed me that invitation that invitation was not meant for him. But it also told me this man has a destiny. This man has what it takes to be a warrior here in RWO. So I open up my doors. I welcome him in. But last night, Blaze McCoy Sr. put a monster in his path. A psychotic individual released from the Wasteland Penitentiary. And he utterly destroyed Ken Caliban. Utterly and convincingly annihilated Ken Caliban. Now, Ken Caliban started off strong. It was a well-contested battle, but halfway through, a clothesline that dumped him over the top rope into the arena floor caused an injury in his lower back. Now, Ken Caliban felt the pop. He felt the pain, but he continued on like a warrior. And as the match progressed, and after the first, and then the second, and then the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, camel clutch succumbed to the pain and fell at the feet of the Steel City henchman known as Oz. Now later on, noticing that he was in pain and could not walk properly, he was brought to medical, and it was discovered that he had suffered a rupture in a disc in his lower back. We don't know the full extent of the injury, but my medical staff promises that they will get him back into the ring as quickly as possible. And I'm hoping the very best for Ken Caliban, because I have never, ever witnessed a slaughter in RWO like he went through last night. Talk about a warrior. He took everything, held it in, and finally on the seventh camel clutch had no choice but to give up. That is a warrior, and I can't wait to see him come back. I have told him there is a favor that he is owed, and when he returns, he can come calling for it, and that favor will be what he deems he is owed. But up next, our second Night's Challenge, Da Pimp, defeating Ken Caliban weeks ago to win the right to face the ruler of the Wastelands, Knights. Well, he got his first opportunity last night, and it was a great opportunity. And this kid brought everything he could to take on the monster known as Big Zeke. Yes, a Steel City henchman put in his path. Blaze McCoy Sr. allowing and loaning this man to Fatu Garin to put in the path of Da Pimp. Da Pimp fought fiercely, came at him like I have never seen a man come at a big man like he has. And Da Pimp is all of 5'4". The heart that he showed last night in this ladder match, it just didn't do the trick. It wasn't enough. Big Zeke, standing near 7 feet tall, I believe 6'10", well over the 300-pound mark, took the title off the briefcase, off the line, and stood proud and tall over Da Pimp. Da Pimp has a bright future, however. He still has 2 more opportunities. If he fails to get past the next night, well, his shot at Fatu Garin is lost. And then, folks, we went into our first main event of the night. And this is where I've got to sadly report a second injury. Or third, I should say. We have 3. Yes, Junior McCoy with the orbital bone socket damaged, as well as Ken Caliban. What a night it was, and brutality at its finest. And you want to talk about brutality. The Queen of the Amazon title is on the line in a 30-minute Iron Woman match. And I expected a fierce, intense battle, but the challenger, Mystic Pain, brought the fight, brought the power, brought the passion took on the Queen of the Amazons, Angelita Utaker, who I've got to say struggled through the majority of this match. She fought like a professional. She fought like a queen, but it wasn't enough. Falling 8 pinfalls to 3. Mystic Pain put the beat down on the Queen of the Amazons. She destroyed Angelita Utaker. The power that Mystic Pain showed throughout this match was undeniable. She is the true Amazon of RWO. She showed that last night in this 30-minute Iron Woman match. Battled Angelita Utaker to the utmost of her capabilities, and wow, the heart, the passion both women showed, unbelievable. But Angelita Utaker, about halfway through the match, suffered what we thought was a concussion. She failed to make some moves that seemed, like she could actually pull off a victory, another pinfall. But it seemed like she was confused, off balance. Her equilibrium kind of shot to hell. And she would just stand there and just weave back and forth. Now, after the match, which she would lose massively to Mystic Pain, she herself said that no, she did not have a concussion. She felt good. But later on, as she was making her way back to the ring, back to the locker room, and then on to her home, she would pass out and could not be rewoken. She was brought back to RWO staff, and medical would check her out, and she did sustain a major concussion. Now, she will be back, but she's got to take time off. She's got to heal up. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take away from the accomplishment of Mystic Pain, the daughter of the Queen of Pain herself. Yes, the goddess of pain. And I have felt her whip many a time. She knows how to bring the pain. But her daughter, Mystic Pain, your new Queen of the Wasteland, awesome display of power, of tenacity, of hope for a new ruler. And she did it last night. Yes, Queen of the Amazons now, Mystic Pain. Now we have one more match, and sadly, we went off air not knowing that we had yet to fill this contractual obligation for this match. And so we went quickly back live. And in our main event of the evening, the Empress of the Wasteland had to put her title on the line in a handicap match. And Emily Ray and Erin Lynn, an established tag team already. Twins, identical twins. While Amethyst Rain as well is an identical twin. Her sister, now the Scourge of the Wasteland #1 contender, Turquoise Rain. Well, this was not a tag team battle though. Emily Ray and Erin Lynn have been taunting Amethyst for weeks on end. Finally, out of her, against her better judgment, Amethyst Rain accepted a challenge, a handicap match against Erin Lynn and Emily Ray for the Empress of the Wasteland title. The seat of power within the Amazon nation put on the line. But Emily Ray and Erin Lynn weren't just satisfied with just sitting there and defeating Amethyst Rain. No. They wanted to break her, to bend her, to show her and humiliate her that, in a way, was as sick and as sadistic and twisted as I have ever seen. Every opportunity they had to pin the Empress of the Wasteland, they teased it. They teased the fans. They went for a slow cover, allowing the Empress to gather some of her strength back, allowing her to kick out again, or completely ignoring any attempt to pin. Every opportunity that they saw to pin the Empress, they've refused, taunted her, told her that she was nothing more than a stripper in Amazon country, demeaning her at every turn, mocking her even, as they continued to beat her down. Well, in the end, we now have two empresses of the wasteland. I'm not quite sure how that works. And I'm a little bit afraid for the Amazon nation what they're going to have to go through with the likes of Emily Ray and Erin Lynn ruling over them as they had in this match against Amethyst Rain. But here it is. Now, Amethyst Rain, she couldn't even pick herself up after the match. She had to be carried to the locker room and straight over to medical. Medical quickly oversaw her injuries, found she has 3 broken ribs. She had lacerations across her back. She had a torn hamstring and blew out her kneecap during this match. On top of that, she has a fracture in her left forearm. Amethyst Rain is going to be taking a lot of time off to get work and work her way back up to getting the revenge she desperately seeks against the likes of Emily Ray and Erin Lynn. Now, we've ran through the card. I have informed you of all injuries and given you my best view of what went down. And it isn't even enough to tell you what all went down. But I've got to tell you, Sunday and Monday night, I had enjoyed myself like I haven't in a long time with 2K19 and with you, the fans of Pillar to Post. You know, I might have had to take a little step back, slow down my uploads, slow down my broadcasts of RWO. But I've got to tell you this. It plays right in my wheelhouse. I can make every single match mean something. There is a story behind everything that happens in RWO. And from here on out, it's just going to get more. It's just going to get bigger. You thought that December 2nd show and December 3rd show were great? Well, just wait, because we aren't stopping yet. Now, we're going to have small shows throughout the month of December. The Warrior Way title, the Scourge of the Wasteland titles will be defended. There will be an actual show if I can throw it together. Hopefully, we can get 2 in before the next big show. But we're going to be working on storylines until we get to the next big one. And I promise you this, it is going to be grander. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. Now, I might have missed the WWE Raw last night. I could not do the review like I've been doing. But Raw is Raw. And I got to tell you this, I had more fun than I will ever have watching or doing 2K19 than I will getting out of Raw. So tonight's SmackDown starts at 8 p.m., goes till 10. I will be covering that. And then we'll be going on to NXT tomorrow night. Now, like I've stated right from the start, I cannot make you promises of what's going to happen in RWO anymore. I cannot offer you promises of when we will be live. It will be random. It will be when I have the time, when I can get myself to this computer. I am a busy man, and I want to bring something far different to YouTube than what anyone else is doing. And this last show, I feel, just hit the tip of what we can accomplish in RWO. Work with me, and believe me, we will bring your character to light and to life and make them a big part of what's going on in RWO. So, do me a favor. After you are done watching this, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought of the 2 events known as Soul Sacrifice. Tell me, in your best opinion, what could be changed, what could be better, what you want to see, and let's see if we can work together to get there. This is Pete Wall, You've been watching Pillar to Post and Renegade TV. Ladies and gentlemen, the Angry Viking is saying good night. And have a good night and have a better tomorrow. I am out of here. Good night, everyone.